Hey, what's up guys, we're back to another video. Today, we are going to be ranking all my credits. All 50 of them. Yes, I know, that is a lot. So, in today's video, there's going to be a couple things on the screen. There's first going to be the ranking up at the top. Ooh, I don't really know where it's going to be right now. There's going to be a marker saying how much that position has changed from last year's ranking. And also the logo of either the park or the coaster if it was available to me. Before we get started, let me pop up on the screen right now on all the coasters that are going to be on this list. Not coasters, manufacturers going to be on this list. And we see that both B&M and Mach are in a tie for my most Ridden manufacturers. But let's get started. Number 50, Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Okay, this coaster sucks. It's rough and janky, and the only roller coaster I ever gotten off saying I wanted to die. Like, it was bad. Okay, now onto the coasters that I know I've ridden, but I don't really remember, and I don't rank them at all. Those would be Timberline Twister at Knott's Berry Farm, Crazy 8 at John's Incredible Pizza, Coastersaurus at Legoland, California, Dragon at Legoland, California, Technic Coaster at Legoland, California, Santa Monica West Coaster at Pacific Park, and Mummy the Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood. And yes, Viper is that bad, it's below all of these. Number 42, Kelmian, I'm pretty sure, at Tivoli Gardens. This is basically like any other Zero Force. The one upside about this coaster, and at this point, these are just family coasters. Their position don't really matter. This one has a lot of laps, but besides that, it's just any other Zero Force. Number 41, Gadget Go Coaster at Disneyland Anaheim, made by Vekoma. This again is like any other family coaster. Vekoma is a plug-and-play coaster, but it's kind of nice. Number 40, Grizzly at California's Great America. I'm pretty sure it was built in-house, but this coaster I can describe as wooden monorails. A wooden monorail. I don't have it below these ones just because these are family coasters, and I don't really remember them that much, but I do remember them, like... Actually, I can probably do some shuffling around later, but for now, these are my rankings. But, yeah, Grizzly's a wooden monorail. That's 100% true. Number 39, Sea Serpent at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. This is another family kiddie coaster, and they're kind of on the level of the other ones, but it's above Grizzly, that's for sure, because Grizzly was just boring. I just didn't like Grizzly that much, and this one was actually pretty good for a kids coaster, but to be fair, it is just a kids coaster. Number 38, Coast Rider. This ride definitely jumped up in my ratings this year, even though the number on the side looks a little bit different, just because you have to count in for how many coasters I actually got. This used to be in my bottom 3 last year, and now it's near the top of the end of the pack. It's a pretty bad Wild Mouse, to be honest, but it was definitely better this time, especially if you get a ride without any trims, which happens once in a blue moon. Number 37, Jaguar at Knott's Berry Farm, and it's a 0. Also, I want to apologize if I kept on forgetting to put either the park or the manufacturer. I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm tired, and I have to get this done today. But this coaster, I remember really loving it as a kid. This was my favorite coaster in the park, and my past couple rides have not been good. It's rough, it's janky, especially because it doesn't use tubular steel track, and I kind of miss when I really liked it, but those days are over, sadly. Number 36, Roadrunner Express at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is a Vekoma. Just like any other family coaster, this is kind of interchangeable with a lot of these on the list at this point, but this one is kind of good. I remember liking it mainly because not because I liked it because I was on with my friend, and we both thought we were kind of fucking idiots, especially because I forced him to go on it. But it was a okay family coaster, just a Vekoma cookie cutter coaster. Number 35, Gold Rusher from Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is an Aero mine train. This coaster is okay, I guess. It's not horrible. It has Aero jank, and if anybody who are viewers of this channel, like long-time viewers of this channel know, I do not like Aero jank. Keyword, no Aero jank, bad. Very bad. I even lost my hat on this ride because it wasn't fast. It wasn't tightened enough, which was a sad moment. So that's why I can't be very high on the list. Number 34, Goofy's Flying School at California's Great Adventure. It's a Mock Rides Wild Mouse. I was supposed to get on this this year, but I wasn't able to. I remember really liking this coaster. It was really good. It was just a really good ride. But this was when I was GP and I was a little kid, so I don't know how good it will be now. Hopefully I'll get on it this year, but who knows? It was supposed to happen this year, it did not happen, so let's hope. Number 33, Flight of the Hippogriff, a Universal Studios Hollywood, made by Mock Rides, I think. This is one of the coasters I don't really know who made it. I think it was either Mock or Intamin, but I'm like 90% sure it was Mock. But moving on, this was a okay coaster. I remember really liking it. To be fair, this was around when I first started getting into roller coasters. It was a pretty good family coaster. It was really well themed, and I do like Harry Potter a lot, so that may be why it's up this high. Number 32, Pony Express at Knott's Berry Farm, made by Zamperla. This, besides it, well, I don't know if there's anything really great I can say about it. The launch is okay, but it's kind of pointless. It's like this was a Six Flags park. This was Magic Mountain, and Six Flags like, oh, we need to get to the most coasters. It's a kind of 8-shaped layout, but it does nothing, and it's a very short ride, and your balls hurt for a guy when you ride it because it jams them. It really hurts, but it's not horrible. Number 31, Journey to Atlantis at SeaWorld San Diego, a Mock Rides water coaster. Unlike some people in the community, I actually kind of like water rides, and mix that with a roller coaster, and you got something I'm interested in. This one is okay, more water ride than actual coaster, but it actually has coaster elements, unlike the log flume at Enchanted Forest that I drove by but never stopped at because it's, too early for them to operate the rides. So, you can tell I'm kind of salty, but moving on to Journey to Atlantis is a pretty good ride. Really interesting elevator lift, kind of tilts you and all that, but it's basically a family coaster, so it can't really be very high on the list. Number 30, Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a B&M stand-up coaster. I don't like stand-up coasters. I do have to say I did not ride it this year, so I don't have a very accurate opinion. The last time I rode it was when I was GP, and I didn't like it then. I do have to re-ride it. That's one of the coasters I'm probably going to have to get on next time I go, even though I'm going to have and probably end up regretting it. But this, I don't really like stand-ups, and this is why I just don't like this coaster. It's uncomfortable, but hopefully the new stand-up is going to be better. Number 29, Demon at California's Great America, an Aero looper. This was definitely better than Viper, if you guys remember from the start of the video. That's sitting at number 50, and there's ones that I don't even have ranked ahead of it. But this kind of was the same story. It's kind of a smaller Viper. I wasn't very fond of it, but it was definitely better than the coasters behind it. It's still janky, but those versions I will have to say are smooth, and they are it's kind of a good ride, but anything that isn't pre-made is not the greatest. Number 28, Psycho Mouse at California's Great America, an Aero Wild Mouse. This coaster was really good, and if you guys saw my reaction, like my review of it in the CGA video, you would know I really liked it. For a Wild Mouse, it was an arrow, an actual not rough, janky arrow. As I look at my screen, I'm just seeing a janky arrow on my screen. You guys aren't seeing that. But it was a really good coaster. I really liked it. But it was a Wild Mouse, so it can't be very high on the list. Number 27, Superman Escape from Krypton, facing forwards, from at Six Flags Magic Mountain, made by Intamin. This was okay. The keyword's okay. It has a mediocre launch, even though it goes 100 miles per hour, and you just don't really feel anything. Not very many G's. Skip it if there's a long line. Number 26, Apocalypse at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a GCI wooden coaster. This coaster I was kind of looking forward to getting back on. This during my summer trip when I went specifically to go ride Wonder Woman. But it was down for retracking at that specific time, so I wasn't able to ride it this year. Last year it was kind of rough, not as rough as another coaster I'm going to talk about later, but it just felt a little bit off. But I think when the coaster's heated up more, it'll be much better. Number 25, Ninja at Six Flags Magic Mountain, an aero suspended coaster. Ignore the airplane outside. This coaster is really fun for a family coaster. I do consider it a family coaster, maybe a family thrill coaster. It's not really something really intense. It is a good ride, and that's why it's in the direct middle of the pack, and in my top 50. But it was a pretty good coaster, except when you get water in your eye. Number 24, Rushibanen at Tivoli Gardens. This coaster, I honestly don't remember very much. I do remember liking it, and maybe because I'm a history nerd, but it was a pretty good coaster. I liked it, but I rode it when I was GP, and I didn't even ride the floorless at Tivoli Gardens. Hopefully I can get back there sometime in the future, but who knows. Number 23, New Revolution at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a Schwarzkopf a Schwarzkopf coaster. That's what we're gonna say. This coaster is pretty good. It's probably a family thrill coaster also, like when we compare it to the Ninja and the rest of the rides in the park. The inversion is pretty good. It's pretty intense. And it's a very long ride when you consider it to other ones of Schwarzkopf from this time. I really like it, but it's too, it feels a little bit pointless, kind of, besides setting a record. Number 22, Cedar Sidewinder at Knott's Berry Farm, a mock ride spinning coaster. This is a pretty good coaster, and a really good spinning coaster. I really like it. It's really intense. It's a good spinning coaster, actually. I really liked it. It is a family coaster, but who really knows if it should be classified as a family coaster. Number 21, Patriot at California's Great America, made by B&M. It's a floorless now. This coaster was okay, I guess. It was kind of meandered a little bit more than it should have, but to be fair, it was a stand-up before, and you don't really want a very intense stand-up. But this coaster was fine. I liked it a little bit, but I thought it could have been, something else could have been used in that spot. Number 20, Montezuma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm, a Schwarzkopf shuttle loop. This coaster is really, really fun. I'm gonna miss it in its current state, and yes, I will count the new one as its own credit if it has a different launch system. But moving on to this, this current model version of it is a really intense, strong launch, and I'm sad I only got to ride it like once or twice. It was a really good coaster, and I'm gonna miss it. Number 19, Undertow at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, a Mauer spinning coaster. This coaster was pretty good also. Another really good spinning coaster. I liked it. It was a family coaster, of course. I spun a good amount on this. I think this is slightly better from Cedar Sidewinder, but they're kind of interchangeable. I do have this 2 spots higher because I think Patriot and Montezuma are kind of in that range also. Number 18, Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a Givanola hypercoaster. It makes me sad having to say those words, hypercoaster, because that means Magic Mountain is not going to get a B&M. But this coaster is actually pretty good, besides the fact that it's a hypercoaster. If it wasn't a hypercoaster, I would be okay with it, but because it's supposed to be a hyper and those are supposed to have good airtime, this doesn't. This is more intensity focused, which you could have gotten with a launch or something a little bit smaller. But either way, this is a pretty good coaster, but it's definitely something that I will still meme on. Number 17, Emperor at SeaWorld San Diego, a B&M dive coaster. This coaster was pretty good. It was okay, I guess. Kind of the same deal with Goliath. I thought another coaster on this list is gonna be definitely higher. Hang Time would be a better dive coaster. But I only got front row rides, so I didn't really get much over the drop, besides the direct looking at the ground. Maybe next time I go, I'll get some more back row and middle rides instead of just front row. Number 16, Scream at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a B&M floorless coaster. This one was actually designed to be a floorless. This coaster it's pretty good. It's okay, I guess. Like, kind of in this good, okay-ish tier area. It kind of has a rattle to it, but besides that, I don't see why people hate it very much, besides how much space it takes up in the parking lot. But yeah. Number 15, Batman the Ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a B&M invert, more specifically a Bat clone. This coaster is actually pretty good. I did get a not as good experience on it this year that I did last year. Kind of got a little more rattle this year. Wasn't as good, but definitely not one of the top inverts in this state. Number 14, Giant Dipper at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. This coaster was really good for a old coaster. I liked it very much. It had some good forces, not very rough. And we're gonna actually talk about roughness in the next coaster, and this was smoother than the next coaster, even though it was nearly like 80 years older, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure about that, though. This was a pretty good coaster. I liked it. Hopefully I can get on it soon. Number 13, Gold Striker at California's Great America, a GCI wooden coaster. This coaster was pretty good. I liked it, but it was hella rough. I came in thinking, oh, this is going to be, like, maybe even my favorite coaster at the park. It's my number 3. It's very rough. I didn't like it. Like, the roughness kind of made me even want to have this lower, but looking back on it, it wasn't as bad. But I did feel some pretty good forces on it, so that's why it's up here above Giant Dipper. Number 12, Manta at SeaWorld San Diego, a mock launch coaster. This coaster was really good, and I loved it. Getting back-to-back rides on this was really good, especially when I came in thinking, oh, this coaster is probably going to be a family coaster. I'm not going to like it very much. This was really good. It had some really good pops of airtime. The launches were actually pretty good for a mock coaster, and it was kind of intense and good in some sections. I really liked it. Number 11, Silver Bullet at Knott's Berry Farm, a B&M invert. This coaster is really good. It's fun. The only problem I have about it is the drop. It's not really a drop, it is more of a turn. Besides that, this coaster is really good, and it's one of the higher up inverts, I think. Not my favorite. That one will come later in this video. But yeah, I really like it. And if you sit in the back row, you get some actual really good ejector airtime off the drop in that pre-drop section. Number 10, Electric Eel at SeaWorld San Diego. Premier rides Skyrocket 2. This coaster, well, when I came into the park, I did not expect this to be my number one in the park. But surprisingly, it is. It was actually really good. I got really good ejector. I only got one row and it was in the back row. So my opinion may be inflated. Next time I get to the park, hopefully it may even happen this year, but most likely not. Hope maybe my opinion will drop if I get any rides in other rows. But yeah, whatever. I think this coaster is really good. I think Skyrocket 2s are really underrated. But yeah. We are now into the single digits. Thank you for making it so far in the video. And might as well just stay, because you have about 9 more to go. But for number 9, we have Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain. A Premier Skyrocket, I think. Let me check. Actually, no. It's a Skyrocket. This coaster is really good. I like it a lot. It's a good coaster. I probably should come up with more words. It has some pretty good ejector time off the back of the loop if you get into the back row. The backwards launch is really good. The launches are just really good. The hang time is really good. I like hang time. That coaster is really good. And the feeling. That coaster's coming up later. But yeah. Number 8. Flight Deck at California's Great America. This was a shocker. This is my favorite B&M. I'm coming out and saying it. I have no other favorite B&M at this moment. I haven't written Tatsu, so that may be above this, but who knows. This coaster is really good. It's really intense. Has a little bit of time to rest, get a little bit of breath before we get into the final helix, which is incredible. The only other helix I like more is Silver Bullets because it's double. But this coaster is really good, and it's old school B&M at its best. Number 7, West Coast Racers at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is a really good coaster. I really like it. It duels. It has good interaction with the other train. You're able to ride it twice because you get to go both sides. Mobius Loop. It's a really good coaster, and I'm really glad I'm able to ride it at a really local park, kind of. It's kind of far, but at the same time not. And I'm glad that this coaster exists, even though there was already a dueling coaster at Magic Mountain. Number 6, Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm, a Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster. This is a really good coaster, even though it is a short ride, is using air quotes. It's a really good ride. I like it a lot. It is just really good. Has good moments of ejector airtime. Has a really good drop. It has in all rows. It has some good moments of intensity. Has some really good moments of hang time. I don't know why anybody would hate it. It's a really good coaster, and there's no roughness. Also, fun fact. This coaster was actually ranked below one spot below West Coast Racers last year, so it bumped up one spot if you put it in that terms. Number 5, Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm, an intimate accelerator. This is a really good coaster. Has a really great launch. Very sad that I wasn't able to ride it this year because obvious reasons. Everything that's been going on with it being down, painting, stuff like that. I haven't been able to ride it since my first ever ride in mid 2021. But this coaster is really good. Hopefully it doesn't change. Hopefully it's still there. Like, you know what I mean. Like, it's not gonna go away. I'll be sad if it went away without me being able to ride one more time. But yeah, this is a really good coaster, really good airtime, and actually kind of complete, unlike the other couple accelerators in the States. Number 4, Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain, a RMC iBox. This coaster is really good. This is a really good coaster. I love it. It's a good coaster, but you will see me have difference of opinions with people about this coaster. Personally, I don't think it's worth as much as the hype as it gets, because it really just feels like two very short coasters, incomplete, and I would much rather have it be two separate coasters, but the original kind of layout length, instead of having to go up the longest ass lift hill twice. That's the reason why it's down here. And I also didn't get the greatest ride this year, but I was in the middle, like one of its first rides of the day. So I'm gonna have to get a better ride this year. Number 3 is Wonder Woman Flight of Courage at Six Flags Magic Mountain, an RMC single rail coaster. This is my favorite ride coaster in the park. I still haven't ridden X2, so I'm gonna have to come back to you with that when I actually ride it. But at the moment, this is my favorite coaster, mainly because the same reason that I said about Twisted Colossus. But this RMC is really good. It has a little bit of a roughness to it, but that's because it sat out there for a year, 2 years in the parking lot. Besides that, it has really good airtime, and it's definitely better than Jersey Devil. I haven't ridden, but I can just tell you that it's better. And it has good airtime, good intensity, a good drop. It has a good everything. Number 2 is Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. This coaster is really, really good. It's the best wooden coaster in California. Try to change my mind. You are wrong. Some people say Gold Striker, but they're wrong. This coaster has great amount of airtime, has great intensity, is very high pace, and great laterals. It's a really good mix of all of them, like all forces, like hang time. The only thing that I have a problem with is how shallow the drop is, but besides that, it's a really good coaster, and like I think it's definitely the best at Knott's by a mile, and maybe one of the very close in these top 5 in the state. Number 1, my favorite roller coaster at its park, in its state, and at this moment in the country. It's Railblazer at California's Great America, a RMC single rail. Coming into this, I was kind of expecting Wonder Woman, and I came out like shocked. I constantly got back row rides, so this may be why it's inflated, and some people may disagree, but I really like it, and personally, short rides don't really bother me, to be honest. I'm really glad that I got to ride this before the park closed, considering that CJ is sadly coming to an end at some point. Hopefully I get to ride it before it closes again, and if not, hopefully I'll be able to ride it at its new park, Cedar Fair. Do not scrap it, I will be pissed. I would like to thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, hit the like button, and if you made it all this way, you obviously liked it, subscribe, and hit the bell, so you get notified for whenever my videos come out. This video took me a while to make, but I'm really glad it finally came out. It was supposed to come out at the end of December. When I'm recording this, it's the 5th of February. It's coming out on the 7th. I'm guaranteeing that. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy. That's kind of my word, and I always say it that direct way. Also, before I end this off, I do want to mention that I did almost lose half this video because of a bug, but luckily there was a backup, so you were able to watch it. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.